And then hey, and we are now live.
Woo! Hey, everybody.
Hey, Good Friday, spring break, and it is literally Good Friday. Happy Passover, happy Easter weekend. This is Talkin' Wrestling, and I am Greco Moses Rob Priebus. To my right is Mike Foss, head coach at New Kent. And behind us, as usual, is John Goodbody, assistant coach at New Kent.
We actually switched out locations.
Yeah, we switched the seats up for the 10 people that have been watching us the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Two of them said that they couldn't hear me from the back, so we switched locations.
Well, you kind of whisper.
Goodbody has a booming voice.
Powerful.
So powerful. So
and
that's the reason for the change.
So yeah, you can chat with us live. We do have a chat window open as usual, so keep it clean, guys. Katomer.
We have our first.
Katomer, watch yourself, bud.
We have our first sponsor, Turkey Hill.
Yeah, but you put the label on.
Turkey Hill Diet Green Tea, the drink of champions.
Great. Now we're gonna
available at your Kroger.
We're gonna get sued.
We're gonna get sued.
We're gonna get sued.
Yeah.
Turkey Hill's gonna send us a nasty message.
Turkey Hill imported from beautiful Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
No one cares.
Which brings us to our first topic, spring break.
Nice.
I was up in Lancaster County for the weekend. Got to see my father. Got to see some people that I graduated from high school. Got to go to Catch Me Out in Mannheim, which is not a strip club.
Sounds like
it's a 1920s themed restaurant, which is known for its wings. And so that was good times. I am regretting that I'm missing Easter because the Foss reunion is this Sunday. Can't make it.
All those bald guys.
A lot of bald, Prebish.
They all look
the same. A lot of bald and a lot of food.
And how many horse and buggies are lined up in your
That's a Baker's Zero. But no horse and buggies.
Hey, Foss. Hey, Foss. Hey, Foss.
Hey, Foss. Hey, Foss.
So, Prebish, what'd you do?
Well, I went home to State College, PA, for a couple of days. And, you know, I was a little under the weather, so it was nice just to get home and relax for a few days. Did a clinic or a practice at my high school.
How was that, man? I texted you about it the other day.
It was the first time that I'd been back in my high school wrestling room since 1996, so we're talking like almost 20 years. Wow. And one of my teammates, Aaron Pavletsko, shout out to the Pav man, he was our heavyweight. His kid's wrestling, and he wanted me to come in and show some Greco stuff, so that was cool. But there's actually a really even cooler story about that practice. Practice was great. It was awesome.
Was it a youth practice, right, or was it the high school kids?
It was mostly youth kids. There were some high school kids there, middle school kids. But you guys know who Franklin Gomez is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for you people out there that don't know who Franklin Gomez is, he wrestled at Brandon High School for Russ Cozart, so it's a pretty badass program. Won state titles. Yes, that Franklin Gomez. Won Fargo a bunch of times. Was an NCAA champion at Michigan State. 2011 took silver in the World Championships and then competed for Puerto Rico. So he was there.
Well, he trains at the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. Right there, you know,
and he's good friends with my buddy Pav. And you know, I'm showing some technique. I do a sag arm throw from an over/under position, and you know, he's playing around with it. He starts asking me questions about it. Like, he really liked my technique. So I mean, how many times do you get to show a world silver medalist, like on the senior level, you know, technique that he likes? How cool was that?
That was awesome.
You are the man.
How cool was that? So that kind of made
no wonder you're number one. Number one in our hearts. Number one on the list.
Wrestling room, showing technique, bringing in the senior level guys.
Yeah, I know.
Coaching them up.
So what about you, Goodbody? Other than losing your phone and
I did not lose my phone. I don't know. I have terrible luck with cell phones. I was in Folly Beach, right outside of Charleston, South Carolina, and cell phone broke. Lost touch with the people back here in Virginia. You know, it happens. Now I'm rocking an indestructible flip phone. You know, who needs fancy technology?
Not you.
When you got a flip phone, I can send a text message, check 1. I can take a picture, check 2. Can I answer the phone? Absolutely. Check 3.
You can
That's all
make
I
a
need.
call. You called me earlier.
I did call
Yeah,
you.
he called me too.
It has an
Thank
alarm
God.
clock on it.
Thank God for
Stopwatch.
that.
You know,
Anything
the trip
a
was
guy
awesome.
could use.
Trip was awesome. Went to the beach. Went to Fort Sumter. Awesome.
Oh,
Awesome time, man.
yeah. They beat the crap out of that place. When I say they, the Confederates.
They did.
We're all together now.
You know, the Union took it back though, man. They got
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
they Sherman in the March to the Sea
Yeah.
made special effort to burn the
Total
heck
war. Yeah.
out of South Carolina. I mean, burn South Carolina. Sorry, Southerners.
Well, that was Georgia. It's 60 mile long.
But they completely destroyed.
Dismantled
I had a-
from Atlanta to Savannah.
You know, I was like on the road trip.
Hasn't
and
really
stuff.
recovered. Have you been there?
It
It's
has.
been about
It
the
has.
same.
It has. But I like going on road
Savannah's
trips. man.
awesome.
I like
Atlanta's
going on road
awesome.
trips and like
In between, not so much.
on road trips, I like pointing out like what places are good at wrestling, man. Pass through Somerville, right outside of Charleston. Good
Right.
wrestling down there in South Carolina.
Good football.
Dorchester, Fort Dorchester out there. Some good wrestling. So that's always fun. North Carolina, same thing. I like doing that. Just pointing out the wrestling programs.
Oh, yeah.
Family members and stuff that travel with me always get tired of it, but still a good time.
Hmm.
You gotta entertain yourself.
So here we've already talked about history and
We've incorporated a lot.
yeah,
Floss went on a rant about which southern cities he likes to visit.
and which ones suck.
And no one cares. Like you wish Floss would just go back to Pennsylvania and stay, but he doesn't.
No, I always come back like a boomerang.
Keep coming back.
Like the carpetbagger that I am.
So we got an action-packed show for you today. Yeah, notice how I put the kibosh on that, guys. We're going to start off by talking about a couple of new rules that the NCAA wants to implement in wrestling. The first one being, if we're on our feet and my opponent steps...
Sorry about that. Go. I'm a little distracted. But I did nothing.
All right, anyway, first rule is when we're on our feet, if my opponent steps out of bounds with 2 feet, he will get hit with stalling. What do y'all think about that?
We rough the call and rough to implement. Because when the guy is circling back in bounds and both feet go out, it's
Right.
really tough to call. Guys trying to work back in center. Yeah, he's both feet stepped out, but he was circling back in. The push-out rule of freestyle and Greco and stuff. A lot of people used to, how long were people complaining about it because it was the same,
Yeah.
number of points as a takedown a couple years ago.
Right.
But now, everyone's like, oh, they should have that in, college. So, it's, people need to quit complaining and just, figure out what rule works and stick
Right.
with it for a little bit. Let these athletes get better at one, knowing the rules for it. And then, let them adapt instead of changing the rules on them consistently.
Well, there's a simple rule that if they implemented correctly we wouldn't have to have rules like this. It's called stalling. Referees need to call stalling. If the guy's backing up, he's stalling. All right? You know who you are, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not calling you all out, but it's ridiculous. I was at a high school match this year where a kid took 2 steps out of the center circle and he got hit with stalling. 2 steps.
Good stuff, though.
I think what they're looking for, just from a more casual, although I coach, a more casual fan of the NCAA, I think what they're looking for is more tangible. Like, okay, 2 feet out. That you can. That's easy to. Okay, that's 2 feet out.
Right.
Stall. But I'm with you. If you have the rule in place, call.
Yeah.
Stalling should be called more. I was talking. Well, I don't know if this. We haven't gotten to the other two, but one thing that I noticed about the NCAA's in the finals is looking at losing riding time. The reason being is that I don't think people are looking to turn. So what happens is you're just hanging on. Kids are getting really good at just hanging on.
Yep.
Gable talks about it in the new Win magazine. I don't know if you boys read it.
No.
An article, Gable's article, and his little question, answer thing they do in there. He talks about riding time. A referee should be able to tell the difference, just like the casual fan, just like the coach, just like the athlete does,
Right.
of when an athlete's trying to work for a turn on top.
I didn't see much working for a turn.
Not
kids
really.
are gonna
Not in the semis and finals and the medal matches, which kind of leads us to the second rule is if I'm on top and I'm hanging on a side headlock, I guess that's like a Merkel, or if
Jersey lock, as we call it in the New Kent Room.
Jersey lock.
Coach Andy It's called an Urkel.
An Urkel?
Yep. An Urkel.
See, we've got
one move, 3 names.
One move, 3 names, and we're from the same state.
So anyway, so if I'm hanging on a Merkel, or if I'm hanging on an ankle, I've got 5 seconds to move up. Well, I mean that.
The ankle's already ruled.
Yeah, or they're going to call stalling.
But in rideouts, it's called initially.
Well, in a rideout, I don't
rules
think
kind of change.
I don't think there needs to be any stalling in a rideout. You're not trying to turn it. You're trying to freaking hang on. Yeah, so I think they're just trying to encourage the officials to do their job and call stalling.
The only time you see stalling now, called more in high school wrestling, where we're all involved in, is when a guy hits a stand up and the top guy's like.
But that's not across the state. That's not even called.
Yeah, that's what you see in stall calls more though at the high school level.
Yeah.
Guys trying to, having a hard time with mat returns, dropping it on a trail leg consistently.
Yeah.
That's where the stall calls are happening. But if athletes are stalling in other positions.
How about when we're on the tournament and the guy's like, cut him? The referee tells our kid to cut him.
Yeah.
Like,
cut him or you cut him. I'm gonna hit you.
Cut him like.
Because you couldn't mat return him.
Yeah. Thanks for coaching us up, Mr. Official.
Yeah. Well, I want to mention it's the guy that I think it was the actual guy that looked like Turner Ashby. We won't get it.
Looked like Turner Ashby, like the.
We like to give refs nicknames.
There's a referee at the Turner Ashby tournament who looks like Turner Ashby. I was like, hey, ref it on mat 1. This actual Turner Ashby.
He comes back and he officiates, and he does a decent job.
Then he goes back to wherever the hell he came from, pardon the language, but he is reffing.
Well, out in Fargo, it's kind of the same thing. Like there's a referee who's a little bit taller than Mini-Me, but he looks like Mini-Me.
We're doppelgangers.
But well, no, I mean he's bald like Mini-Me is. So
actual Mini-Me.
Yes, actual Mini-Me, not me. So we call him Intermediate Me because he's not quite Mini-Me.
That's good.
And there's Santa Claus. One year there was Dog the Bounty Hunter.
There's a Santa Claus in Richmond too.
And there's Kenny
Drew
Rogers.
Carey.
Yeah, Drew Carey.
Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers.
Through the years.
No.
I love that song.
Yeah, no.
Love me some Kenny Rogers, but that's off the subject. Sorry.
Yeah. So, and I don't even know what the third rule is. I don't think it really much matters.
Kind of lost it.
Kind of lost. But you also, Mike, had an idea about coming out with some ideas about paying scholarship athletes.
The scholarship. I wanted the wrestling perspective. I know how I feel about it.
Right.
I feel that if you choose to stay 4 years, you are getting a diploma that's worth. Just the payment itself is worth at least $100,000, probably $80,000. You're getting that, plus you're getting medical. You're getting the medical of like the trainers, a place to stay, room and board. A lot of people would love to have that.
Plans.
Yep.
Meal plans. And then that's not counting. You get a diploma. There's that sliding scale. The further you get educated, the more you're likely to make during
Right.
You're getting that for free because you play football. I'm talking about revenue net sports now, football, and basketball. That's my feeling on that. The only thing that I would change about it right now is let the kids get jobs so they can get some spending money. I think that
Yeah, the way these kids train. I mean, going to college. I mean, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I kind of agree with you, but. These kids going to school, they're competing on the weekends, competing, not most of the time in college. They have some dual meets during the week, but most of the time they're traveling on weekends and traveling far distances. And their season runs longer than the high school season. I mean, those kids trying to manage a job during that time, maybe they can work at a school bookstore or something one day a week or something.
Like a work study.
Yeah, do something. I mean, there's
or in the summer. I was thinking in the summer where you can make some money during the summer. Save it up, have it during the year, stuff like that. So I guess the NCAA is saying that they're going to look to doing some like meal type of money or meal plans.
Yeah, because
that includes
Yeah, that's the best. These kids are getting if you're a high level athlete and even in wrestling, those kids are getting paid to go to school, man. Not like technically getting money in their pocket.
No,
they're getting an education.
Yeah, they got to throw them a bone and give them some spending money.
Look at James English, kid from Penn State. When did he start getting scholarship money? If somebody knows out there, if he did, I don't know if Kale was able to give that kid money. That kid was an All-American this year. You know, but he was, medical red shirt. That kid went to school for 6 years.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, to achieve his goal. And he probably wasn't a scholarship athlete. Somebody got his books paid for. I mean, then you got a lot of athletes who are good wrestlers, coming out of high school. Austin Coburn's one of them, local boy, wrestling ODU. I mean, right out, he was a state champ, state finalist, 3-time state medalist. That kid had to, take his SATs, I think, 3 or 4 times just so he can qualify for more academic money.
Yeah.
Because the athletic money wasn't there.
Yep.
So, I mean, in some ways, it would be nice to help out these kids, get a little coin in their pocket when they're in college. But, Foster hit the nail on the head, man. They're getting an education, and that pays for itself.
The other thing, though, is wrestling's a little bit different, as is track and things like that, because the argument is kids in football, kids in basketball generating all this revenue, as opposed to, NCAA wrestling's growing. We had it on ESPN for the first time. We had all the mats available online. They carried the tournament on TV. However, it's still not what I would call a revenue-producing
Universal Sports.
So
they aired the World Cup. They're also airing U.S. Open finals and stuff tonight and tomorrow.
If you have Comcast, you can't get it. So we can't get it here in Richmond and most places in Virginia unless you have Cox Cable.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's actually another good segue. Yeah, the Open is going on in Vegas. There's just so much stuff going on. I mean, they're running like 8 different tournaments. They've got the Open and freestyle Greco and women. You got the Western Regional.
How do you feel about the Western Regional being so early, though? I mean, a lot of those kids are still, finishing up their, folk-style state tournaments at the young level. I mean, Southeast Regionals and Northeast Regionals, they're not for a couple more weeks.
Southeast Regional's not till
Memorial
Day weekend. I think you got to start somewhere, and I think the Western Regional kind of starts it off, sets the tone to see how freestyle Greco season's going to go.
I guess it does put those young athletes in the same building as all those, your senior level guys.
It's got to be a cool experience, and they also have the Veterans Nationals. So yeah, 1 year from now, maybe I'll be wrestling out there, depending if my body holds up. We'll knock on wood. So yeah, if you get an opportunity,
number one will get it done.
I hope so.
We're going to Vegas.
check out themat.com, the open mat, intermat, whatever.com you like, and check out how the open and all that's going on.
Track wrestling has all the results on it, man.
Yep.
Track wrestling's getting huge, man.
So
I know we try to use it a lot here in Virginia.
Absolutely.
We're going to try to use it on our postseason stuff next year.
We for the last 2 years, the VISAA, the private schools in Virginia, have used it, and this year it was seamless. It went very, very smooth. Made things so much easier than having to deal with the old software where you can't read the brackets. And families, friends can follow it online. If they can't be out at the tournament, they can watch how you're doing.
The one fault I have with all those tournaments going on is I'm trying to keep track of it all, and it takes me forever just to go through all the results. Like first you got to look at all the brackets of freestyle, men's freestyle, then men's Greco, and then we had a lot of women come from this area that Skylar Brown. Who was on that scene for a while.
Right.
So I still kind of follow it a little bit. When Becca's going to be going out there, and little Prada will probably wrestle on that scene eventually too, man. So I try to follow that just to keep track of what's going on with women's USA wrestling. But then you got to look at those brackets, and you got the junior feeler stuff going on. And then Greco was yesterday. Shout out real quick to Roy Hill, man.
He's out there with some
Papa
of the boys.
Hill, dude.
Yeah.
Way down the list. You're way ahead. Man.
I know, but I'm be honest. I looking through those brackets. I'm seeing a lot of guys, Gunston guys, wrestling. Whether a lot of them are at Mason, yes, but some of them, they're just out there competing.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That those kids are staying in the sport. That's good. That's because of, a quality coach giving those kids an opportunity, man.
Which takes us to our next.
Wow, this is like seamless. This is like synergy going
We're like
on.
This
are happening, boys.
Wow.
Easy.
This is crazy.
Back to neutral.
Yeah. Wait.
I like being back here, man.
Choose top.
Choose top.
Choose top. Maybe. We'll get to that later. Anyway, Roy Hill being an example of a coach who's out there year-round with his boys. Now, mind you, he's also the head football coach at Hayfield High School. Hayfield High School's got about 2,500 students. It's a big school. It's a big community. And you've got this guy who's the head football coach, head wrestling coach, and he takes his kids everywhere. But we're not talking about guys like Roy Hill. We're talking about the next, no disrespect. That sounded horrible. I'm sorry. I did not mean to come out that way.
This is kind of builds on a topic we had like a couple. It was either last week's or hell. There's only been 2 shows, so like
can't be that
one
much.
of them.
Talk too much.
There was a topic that we talked about getting programs better in Virginia, and we have a lot of coaches who don't coach year round.
Yep.
Don't open the room.
Yep.
And then complain, oh, my kids aren't getting better.
Yeah.
I've also noticed though that you got a lot of coaches who have a hard time coaching you around because of their other commitments and stuff and family and stuff too. But a lot of those guys have started pushing their kids to clubs, and which is cool. As long as you're trying to find ways to get your athletes on the mat, which is awesome.
Right.
Getting those kids to small season clubs and. In Virginia, how many clubs are popping up now? Of course, you got your core group, Impact, Predator,
Gunston,
Hawkeye.
Banditos up in, Forge Raptor, Virginia Elite.
Yep. Grundy.
Fauquier has their Birds of Prey, and PWA absolutely. You got all those clubs and stuff. There's opportunities for these kids to train. We're
gonna change the name.
Next level wrestling.
We have our club at New Kent. It's mainly a lot of New Kent kids that train. And
they train locally, and then they go to
their clubs and stuff.
It's the same with us at St. Chris. We've got our guys training. But going back to the concern, those coaches that don't encourage their kids to wrestle year round, that they're only in the room from November to the end of February. But yet are the first ones during the season to complain about how their kids aren't in shape, how their kids are lagging behind. And my comment is simple. Don't complain and whine if you're not willing to put in the time. Put in the work. I understand.
Wrestling coach, especially in Virginia, doesn't pay the bills.
No.
And that's not what it's about. It's about getting these kids an opportunity to get better. And sometimes, of course you wish hey, I wish I had a little bit more personal time. Taking some time for, me. But at the same time, I'm a competitive guy. I like to win. My athletes like to win. And to win, you got to put in the extra effort.
Absolutely.
As whether you're an athlete and whether you're a coach, too.
I will say that, devil's advocate, that wrestling coaching now is a single man's job, I believe, because of the people that, there's coaches I've heard say, I'd love to do this, but I have a wife, I have children, and I have to, during the wrestling season, I'm out Saturdays. If you're building a program, you're out Saturdays.
Right.
So that's 6 days a week you're going out there. Then in the off season, you're asking for more. That's really tough to do. So I do understand.
You got to find the right woman.
Brookville.
Yeah. Schuler!
Coach
3 weeks in a row, man. We're talking about the guy.
He probably has no idea.
He probably has no clue.
Because he's probably not watching.
He'd probably come here and clunk our heads together like Mo Howard, and we'd be the Three Stooges. Stop talking about me on every podcast.
All right, Curly.
He's going back to Brooklyn.
Or are you Shemp?
I would be Curly. I wouldn't want to be Shemp. I have an uncle that looks like Shemp, but that's a story for another time. Used to do the Como.
Hey, Falls. But
so get out there and work with your kids.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I want to see if you have kids competing, whether they're wrestling for their club, go out and support them. Bring the kids, man. Bring your wife. Stop in for a second at a local tournament and watch your kids compete.
Yeah.
I remember talking to an ex-girlfriend. It was a couple girlfriends ago, but I did talk to a girlfriend. Come out to Louisa. When that fall tournament was really tough. It wasn't the summer sizzler. It was the fall sizzler.
The September sizzler.
I told her that there's going to be food. That's how I got her there. A little bit. No,
and how big was this?
But no, no. Just kidding.
If you got her out there with food,
you want a hoagie? She looks like me with a wig.
Hoagie. I got her out there, and we watched a couple of matches, and I had to do something in exchange. I forgot what it was. I think I mowed her lawn.
Do you have to go do some crocheting or something?
I'm very good at that. Being said, I'm pretty good. I'm a better counter cross stitcher than I was a crocheter. It's a story for another time.
That's why we got to put them in the back.
What
Richmond? You brought it up.
But staying on that topic, a lot of coaches, like, how many times have you seen a coach, like, during the early season, so frustrated? You just said it, people about their kid's shape.
Yeah.
What were y'all doing in the fall?
Our guys play football too.
Yeah, well, football shape is not even close to being a wrestling shape.
No.
And I mean, you got to have a program outline.
Yeah.
Like, to be a successful program, you got to have something outlined, put it in paper. The middle school coach is on board, everyone's on board. Where Bobby Rodriguez, our middle school coach, B-Rod.
He's probably not watching.
He's definitely not watching.
And I keep thinking that he's like a kid.
Oh, dude, he looks 17 years old, maybe younger.
He's like 45.
But dude,
the principal thought that too.
He does a great job down there. Kids love him, and he just follows along with what we need done, man. And that's, having people on the same page. And but Bobby puts in the work. He's been coming off season stuff.
You have to. You got to put in that extra time. I mean, if you want to stay up there with the best teams in your state or in the country, you've got to stay ahead of it. So again, don't whine and complain when your kids aren't doing well if you're not doing anything about it, or I can't get them in the room. Yeah, you can.
You got to change your way of doing things.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, if you only have 2 kids in the room, stay with them.
Absolutely.
Get those 2 kids better, man. Because then other kids will see it.
Absolutely.
Other kids will, I mean, there was countless times when I was coaching, before I started coaching Impact, man, I'd have a couple kids in, the room at Manchester, and just it'd be like a small little group drill, and we'd get after it, and those kids got better.
Yeah, I would open
more and more kids started showing up because of that. So that's key, man.
All right, so let's talk about the Richmond Times-Dispatch All-Metro team. Now, for people that are tuning in from out of the area, you probably have no idea what we're talking about. Well, each year, the local newspaper, the Times-Dispatch, puts out its all-Metro team in every sport. And there's always speculation on those message boards, which I can't stand message boards. Talking about who should be on which, on the all-Metro, blah, blah, blah,
Put your name on the darn message.
And put an email address, so if you have questions, we can contact you instead of hiding behind silly identities.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's talk.
Put your name on it.
That's something specific. Let's talk about the Richmond Times-Dispatch, because a lot of people from the Richmond area. Let's talk about the coverage they give us.
There's coverage.
Exactly.
There's coverage.
Coach Voss does a great job of sending our New Kent results and making sure those little results and those little dual meet results are posted.
Yeah.
But occasionally they do a wrestling note stuff, but it's usually on the same kids on the same 3 programs.
Yeah.
And occasionally they'll put like a little ranking out. But it's 3 kids that they're getting the recognition, and the same 3 kids every week because they don't update it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the Richmond Times-Dispatch is kind of should be at fault, or is it us as coaches?
It's a little bit of both, I think. They
think you're seeing a play like what's the first thing? Printed news is like is like the horse when the car was invented. I mean, it's old. It's not being used. So they're all cutting back. And so now you have less people doing more sports
that don't know a darn thing about.
And if you're lucky to have somebody that would. The best coverage we ever got was when we had Jason Bryant at the Daily Press.
Yeah.
Who was a wrestling guy who
Jason
also
Bryant.
happened to be
You're the man.
a
I hope JB watches these.
But
he's in Vegas. He's got
bigger fish to fry.
in.
It's got bigger fish to fry, buddy. But anyway. So I think that's one of the things you're seeing. However, I think one of the problems is that being said, I think the guy that I think he does a good job. I think he's got to call more coaches. I think he has one coach who calls him a lot and who is not necessarily on
the most informed
pulse. I think he does not build a program as much as he calls the guy from Times-Dispatch.
Right.
in my opinion, I'm not going to mention names. People know wrestling, know what I'm talking about. So, that's how you get what happened the second team, 220 was wrong. That was wrong. Should have went to our kid, but
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. So,
that's
all right.
what happens when you have that.
And yeah, when they focus, I mean, in the winter, unfortunately, we're in a basketball state, basketball community, so they're going to focus on that. And when
even in our daily newspaper in New Kent, man,
it's basketball.
Dude, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Our state coverage was literally 3 paragraphs that were printed in like size 10 font.
That's too
in
bad.
Times New Roman in the corner, and like Charles City's girls basketball lost in the first round.
Everything that is in there is because
and there was like 3-4 pages, and like that's terrible, man.
And that local coverage, that's where it should be.
And that's where we, like, especially New Kent, where it's a small little town. That's where we can build a little fan base and get more people in the crowd. But our newspaper does a terrible job.
Well, in response to that, that's part of the reason why when I came down here and started coaching at St. Chris, I immediately developed a website.
You do a great job with that, brother.
And it's kind of for selfish reasons because I want to get
so you can sell Greco Moses gear.
Well, yeah, that too, but we have GrecoMoses.com.
Cha and ching.
Yes. But no, it was a selfish thing because I want my kids to be able to see their names. I want their parents to see their names online. And if a college coach or whatever, is calling about one of our guys, well, here, check out our website. You can see how he's done throughout the season. So I make it look like a website that is professionally done because I know that our kids aren't going to get the recognition in the newspaper. So they got to get it from somewhere.
You do a great job with that.
And I'm a nerd. What can I say? I want the best for my kids.
That's it.
Yeah, I am a nerd. So without further,
he writes a blog on there, people. If you ever get a chance, read Coach Peebles' blog. It's good stuff. They haven't done it in a while.
If this podcast isn't enough, you need more Prebish in your life. Log it.
Who doesn't need more Prebish life? Like all day long.
And I'm divorced. Why? Because there was too much Prebish in their life.
Oh
no. All right. Anyway, let's talk about All Metro Times Dispatch, the All Metro team.
106 was right.
Yeah, Joey Prada,
hands down,
national prep champion, state champ, second in the Beast of the East. Yeah, and it's not because he's a kid that I work with. The kid is money.
Yep,
he's a top shelf kid.
Good.
Dylan Schuster, 113.
Another good one.
42-2 on the senior year, won states.
Didn't see him wrestle. Didn't see him.
But even at 106, back in 106, second team kid was right too.
Who was the second?
Gray Hart.
Yeah,
he had a good little year, man.
Really kind of came out of nowhere. Did really good as the
Hanover kid. Had a great state tournament. Wrestled tough.
Good for Gray Hart. All right.
113 was Dylan Schuster from Matoaka.
Both those.
How about that kid? I mean, that kid committed to that weight cut, man.
Yeah, he did.
He was a good size 113. He was big.
Yeah.
Did a good job managing weight. Wrestled. I didn't get to see him much. I just heard that he, first 2 periods he was money. Third period was kind of hanging on a little bit, but he got his hand raised.
Yeah, he got it done this year. 42-2 record. I mean that's pretty impressive.
And they have a decent schedule.
Yeah.
It's not like they
120. Cam Timmock from Hermitage. He was a state champion in 2013.
This is where I hear a lot of issues at.
Yeah.
It's in the rest of the community.
Yeah.
Cam, was state champ his junior year, state runner-up this year. Who beat him?
I don't even know.
Did he lose to
5,
Beltran?
Right?
Yeah, the Mountain View kid.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Beltran is tough, man.
Not to take away from Cam, he's going to the Naval Academy, which by itself is pretty awesome. Yeah.
Man.
The second team guy was Josh Weiland from Benedictine.
State champ, right?
State champion, National Prep All-American.
Freshman.
If there was a Freshman of the Year award, I think he would get it.
He wrestled all those kids tough, man, that were like, I didn't see him wrestle like Lalabo and all those guys during the year. But, at all-season tournaments, man, he was wrestling those other 120-pounders tough and winning matches.
He was very solid. He had a good year for Benedictine.
Good first year. Yeah.
I don't think,
Good healthy Josh, man. He got,
knee surgery.
Right. Yeah. I hope his knee comes back.
He'll bounce back quick. He
absolutely.
tore a little cartilage in his knee. didn't finish national preps where he wanted to, but to finish as a freshman in the top 8 is pretty good. Let's move on to 26.
I want to say the 20. I would give the nod. I think the freshman had a really good year. I always give the nod to the senior in these things. That's just how I am. I think that was more of a body of work
from over the years.
Yeah. And I think Weiland's going to have plenty of opportunities to have all Metro.
Yeah. And Weiland, honestly had a lot of, a little bit more support around him, with partners and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the last couple of years, Cam's been working out basically with his coaches.
Yep.
He's got some of those other guys better around him,
Is Chris Harris? You think Chris Harris is watching us?
He likes our Facebook status. So
Chris Harris,
fishing.
You're not fishing.
Hey,
God, no.
How about Bob Harris? Happy birthday,
happy
Bob.
birthday,
Happy birthday to Bob Harris.
Bob Harris, happy birthday. You scare me, Bob.
Bob?
You scare me, Bob.
Bob is tough, man.
Yeah.
Bob, if he was in the running, probably goes number 1.
I think so.
Anyway.
I would yield number 1.
126.
J.D. Gregory.
Yes.
Won state tournament for the second year in a row.
Sucked it up.
More than banged up. He just had a little surgery on his shoulder. The kid got hurt at the Beast of the East in December, and he gutted it out at the end of the year.
All year long.
Yeah.
Watching him at stage, just kids going after that arm, that shoulder.
Yeah.
I watched
thought the runner-up was
going to escape the rock too.
We had the doubts about the runner-up. The runner-up was just what we thought he would just go get him, and wear him down, and that didn't happen. So
yeah,
did a good job against a tough kid to runner up.
He had a good season, had a good summer, placed out in Fargo, and he's an example of a kid that has just kept plugging away and plugging away and plugging away, and has worked his butt off.
Amen.
132, your Times Dispatch Wrestler of the Year, Kyle Gordon.
I thought it was not what I was expecting for Wrestler of the Year, but I kind of liked it, man. Something different.
Again, a senior. I think the senior gets that.
And he finally put it together in one state tournament. Had worked really hard with his weight.
Yes.
He was probably one of the biggest 32-pounders I've seen.
I remember when
it's a lot of lower body strength. That's tough.
He wrestled at the midnight match when he was in 8th grade when Blake Rulo.
Did he wrestle Tully Blanchard at the midnight match?
I think he wrestled Trey though.
He probably did wrestle Trey.
He wrestled Trey, but that kid, has been battle tested for a long time.
Yeah.
Blake Rulo, former Matoaca kid, used to tell me about how he was going to be, the next big thing to come through Matoaca, And
was that the one that was at the score?
No, that was the one that was at Lee Davis High School.
Okay. We wrestled Neil Richards when he was very young.
Yes, young.
Yeah.
But,
Kyle's paid his dues, and he's a super nice kid.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it was just nice to see him go out on top.
It's a good little article written on him too about that. Man.
Yeah.
He gave a shout out to his workout partner who had a rough year.
Who
gave up the sport for a year, man. Michael Hundley. That was awesome to see that his teammate giving him a little bit of respect and props.
Yep.
It's good stuff, man.
And going back to 26, the second team guy was Will Kelly from St. Chris.
Well deserved.
Good job, yes.
3-time private school state champion, 3-time National Prep All-American. And I've watched
also up for a scholarship, Sports Radio 910 scholarship, I believe.
It's a Lexus Pursuit of Perfection.
Heard that interview.
Yeah,
not a great mat tapper. We watched him at the middle school state tournament.
He was asleep.
He struggled, man.
Yeah, not a good mat tapper.
If you need a towel tapper, you're not going to call Will Kelly.
But I'll tell you what,
everything else top notch.
Watching that kid grow from the time he came to St. Chris in 9th grade. He's just blossomed into an outstanding, tough wrestler. Guy I hate working out with in the room because he moves so much. And I got to give Ross Coutumer all the credit for that. He really.
I was about to anyway. So.
He really.
Reevish had nothing to do with that.
He might have cracked Will's back a few times.
Will's looking a little tight there.
Taped up a couple, suspect ringworm things, but
no,
that was all technique and all that was all Coutumer.
He wasn't originally a St. Chris boy though.
No, he went to collegiate. Yeah.
Good for him, man.
And when they had their big coaching change before his freshman year, he came over.
Sicka was still at collegiate.
Yeah.
So he came with his boy.
Yeah. All right, 138. So you guys have probably been waiting all time to talk about. Your boy.
This was
Terrible picture of BC LaPrade.
BC LaPrade is your old
He
Metro.
was struggling in that picture. You know, like, it's all good.
When isn't he struggling?
He hates those types.
He hates those type of things.
Like that.
He doesn't like it. Like, I remember his sophomore year when he won Bay Rivers District like Wrestler of the Year or something at the tournament, and like did
he blush?
No, he was just so uncomfortable getting the award.
Socially awkward. Like, are you saying BC is socially awkward?
He's not used to that type of.
He just doesn't like that attention.
Yeah, it's not an attention seeker.
But I mean, it was awesome. You know, it's great for him. That was a really disputed weight class. You know, throughout the year, and you know, him and Corey Leonard, they work out in the same club room together, and they've known each other for so long, and we know the Leonards real well, and that family and stuff, and they're great people. You know, so I mean, it could have went either way. Of course, we were glad that BC got the nod because
no losses in the state of Virginia.
New Kent kids usually get the second team stuff, so it was good to see one of our boys get
two well-deserving guys.
Corey Leonard was also a state champ. Is your second team All Metro, but
I think they made the right choice.
I think so too.
I agree. BC didn't have a single point scored on him by a Virginia wrestler.
That's
other than escapes.
And had 4 losses on the year. One of which was to Joey McKenna.
McKenna, Jersey runner-up, 2 Pennsylvania boys.
Well, and then the Jersey runner-up from Cranford, Murray, who was also an NHSCA All-American. BC was an NHSCA All-American as well.
And they did not, other than one guy, it wasn't like they beat their cut out of him either. They were close matches. They were 1 point.
How was this match with McKenna?
McKenna roughed him up a little bit. Forced him around. And McKenna was good size, 38 pounds.
Had that cradle in.
Yeah. All right, 45, 3-time state champion Neil Richards.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, that was pretty
no-brainer.
Pick, man.
Yeah.
At 45, I thought we were in an argument for a second team here. From New Kent with
Corbin
Blake
got
Coleman. Shane Corbin had the head-to-head win.
Improved so much.
Did not have the end of the season that I bet he wanted. I don't know if he was sick or something. I don't know if somebody filled us in on that. Shane's a good kid, man. I watched that kid grow.
He's really impressed me over the past 2 years. He really has stepped up.
That kid would take a head inside single and try to come out the back door every single time.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, and with Neil, he's just a freak athlete. I mean, he's just got ridiculous strength.
Did you watch his NHSCA final?
No, I did not.
Dude, a lot of the times, Neil gets kind of a bad ref for just taking that dive-in double and it's kind of horsing people and maybe getting to a front head and dumping them off.
Right.
But he had this one cross pick off a seatbelt situation that was clean. And then one time he chased down a single and bumped in and almost finished it with putting an opposite side boot in, but he's not a legger, so it kind of blocked off.
Right.
It was just a good clean finish and I was pretty impressed by the little technical things that he was doing.
That's good.
That he doesn't really get credit for.
So he's up in his game.
Yeah, and he's a strong kid. It's been really interesting to see what happens with him in college.
Yeah.
And he's a good kid too.
Oh yeah.
His dad used to drill with me when I used to ref youth wrestling back in the early 2000s, man. Yeah.
Was this when you were big good body?
I was little, man. I was skinny. I was a little guy.
152.
But I'd go and ref matches and stuff, and he would be in jeans and coaching Neil.
You're getting the hook and you're not listening to it. 152.
Yeah. No, I was just giving him crap good body at 152.
I was small, man.
With Coelho.
I was big, and then I was skinny, and then I'm big again. So I think in a couple years, man, you're going to see a new skinny John.
So, all right, let's go to 152. Corbin Allen, who
injuries too, man.
Yeah.
Hanover was just
Hanover held together. That was
kind of the best storyline. Watch them win a state title, just because they were so banged up all year, man.
Yeah, but Corbin, tough kid, gutted it out at the end of the year. Finally winning a state championship. He was second last year. Freshman year, he was hurt. Placed out in Fargo last summer. Just a kid who's paid his dues. He's really grown as a wrestler. Just proud of what he's done. He's a good kid.
To the, Jordan State Champ Camp forever, man.
Yep.
But Corbin needs to keep his head up, man. Has had 2 rough goes, Flow Nationals, and NHSCAs, where he has an All-American, man. He's been like around the way. So keep your head up, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I know you're kind of probably frustrated about all that, man. He's gonna get it done. That kid, he'll be ready to go come Fargo time and make some more noise.
I think so.
You know, I don't know if he's 100%. I don't know if he's putting a lot of pressure on himself, but you know, he's a good kid, and Larry's the man too, man.
Yeah. If either of you are listening, guys, get in our room. Get in the room. You need workout partners. All right, 160, Justin Trent from Colonial Heights.
Man.
Good job.
Kid's paid his dues.
I've known Justin in a long, long time. Danny Trent, I know you're watching.
Yeah.
I know you're watching. You called me. What's going on?
Despite his father. Deserved. His father deserves a kick.
Just because you had to sing the national anthem.
And he called me fat this week.
Chubby.
Nah.
You know? No, but Justin, man, I mean,
Did you just call me chubby, good buddy?
I mean,
really?
It's ironic.
That is incredibly ironic.
You know,
like a
Justin,
black fly in your shark.
I mean, Justin was the type of kid that, I've known for years. Like, he watched me wrestle when I was younger, and then, obviously he started working out at Impact with Steinbacher and me, and, it's just good stuff, man. Like,
tough to get partners for him.
Yeah.
He was just so physical, and, he's going to Wheeling Jesuit, and it's going to be awesome. He's going to help that program get springboarded.
I think so too.
They have a lot of other kids coming on board, man. And Justin's a good kid. He made himself into a really good student, and that's awesome, man.
Yep.
I know I'm talking more about Justin now. I'm talking about BC, which is pretty funny, but Justin's just awesome, man. The picture of him was pretty funny. He had his little gauges in. It was pretty funny, too. But top shelf, man. And he trained with us at the end of the year, warmed up with us at all conferences and all that stuff. So if we can get his team points, VHS,
that'd be awesome.
That would be pretty nice.
I think we,
you guys would have won the states.
Yes,
we would have been up there. We would have been up there. But it's all good. He was a Colonial Heights boy, not a New Kent. So it's all good.
All right, 170, Ian Saunders from St. Christopher's. He was a VISA runner-up this year, round of 12 at National Preps. Good kid. First year for him not being injured or sick. I mean, last year as a junior, he was out half the season, had knee surgery, and then came back for the state tournament. Was not in real good shape last year.
Pretty impressive to me at that dual match, and that was one of the swing matches, and he came out on top.
Oh, against the Benedictine match
in the middle of the snow. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, he was just very solid all year. Worked hard all year.
If you would have asked me at the beginning of the year if that kid was going to be round of 12 at National Preps, I wouldn't have said so. So, kudos to you guys at St. Chris for getting him there.
You haven't had to drill with him. The kid does not stop moving, ever. I mean, you're going to get, elbowed or kneed in the face because he moves so much.
That's good.
It's frustrating.
He's also very good at 90210 back in the day. I thought he was good.
You're thinking that's Ian Ziering.
Oh, my God.
God, why would you watch this?
All right,
that's terrible.
Let's move on without even.
Let's go on Ian Saunders because this was an interesting weight class, man. It was disputed online. Benedictine had a kid, Ulysses Avgeros. We had a kid, who was a state runner-up, Zach Edmonds, and then you had another kid who was a second-team kid, Chip Sturck from Glen Allen, who basically got sick, got mono at the end of the year. Kid would have probably won a state title. Pinned the kid who won it in like a minute. Beat our kid in overtime. Who also, and I think he also pinned Avgeros. And Avgeros had a 1-point win over our kid. So Sturck was right in the mix there. I was glad they gave that kid a nod. He's only a sophomore. That kid is going to be tough on top. Love to scramble. Love to get in there and mix it up a little bit. I'm looking forward to watching that kid roll the next couple of years, man.
Going to improve in that room.
All right, 182, Cabell Toma, Benedictine. He was a two-time VISA state champion, 44-5 record. Pretty solid kid. Worked hard.
Going to the Citadel.
Yeah, it's going to the Citadel.
Deserves it. He works hard.
Oh yeah, man. He's been around for a while too, man.
Seems like he's more than a senior, but he's not.
He's not. He's a young man.
Yeah, he's a young fella.
Well. Yeah, he's just been solid, throughout his career. So wish him luck. 195, St. Christopher's third All Metro. I think that's a record for us. Yeah, we got
keeping score at home. That's 3.
And best name on the All Metro team.
Yes,
Carrington Lanier.
Yep.
Classy individual.
if you would go by his name, Carrington Lanier, you would think of like a blue blood.
Sounds like he should own like land in Scotland.
Yeah. Well,
with a castle.
Carrington Lanier is probably one of the biggest rednecks that we have in St. Christopher. So the name is not
indicative.
No, but Carrington.
I didn't know how young he was, man.
Yeah, he's a junior.
He wrestled one of our kids at like Hope Invitational, like his sophomore year.
Yeah,
I thought he was older than too.
Last season. Did not end the year on the way that he wanted to. He was seeded 4th going into our state tournament. Lost right before the medal rounds.
Strong kid.
And really just put himself on a mission to redeem himself. And when he won his state championship this year, it was very, very happy for the kid because, he really stepped up and, didn't let the things that had been bugging him his freshman and sophomore year with injuries and things like that. He just took care of business and did really well. So
who's second team at 95?
Second team at 195. Let's see.
And who's that? Who's
Bishop Gumpel. Yeah, we got Danny Trent online. Yeah, because we're talking about
just
his kid.
Said.
Yeah.
Hello.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is Ross there, buddy? You told him
Ross has been checking in earlier. Is that you? Is that you, streamer?
Oh, it's at somebody, But Bishop Gimple, man, same thing. Battled injuries.
Yeah, he was hurt most of the year.
But I mean, he also
hard
had
to believe
guys,
he's a senior.
You had that Midlothian kid at 195, man.
Oh yeah.
His name slipped on mine, but Coach Cox and Coach Jenkins over there, man. They get those kids, man. Occasionally, really buy into them, and they
liked wrestling, loved lacrosse, but was a hard worker. They really enjoyed him in the room there.
But the 220, you had
Denny Vaughn or Aaron Vaughn.
Sorry, Aaron. Aaron Vaughn. I mean, to be honest with you, his state final match was super exciting.
Yeah, that was.
I was just happened to be on the floor at Salem, and I was with a lot of the Hanover guys. I was talking, just kind of chilling. That match, they needed Aaron Vaughn to win it to kind of cinch their, their state title. So it was kind of exciting, just being in the mix of all that. And it came down
tough
to
loss
for a kid from Smithfield who we've known for a long time. But it was a lot of guts, man.
Got to go 6 minutes.
Those kids went back and forth the year. I think they split matches. Mm-hmm. So the state final was kind of their rubber match, man. And
it's good to see Dinwiddie win one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, their coaches, dude, they do a good job, man.
Very solid. Very solid.
They do a good job with those kids. And it's a football school now, man.
Yeah.
I know it's always been decent in football, but look at them the last couple of years, dude.
Yeah.
Should we talk about second team here?
Justice Williams, Mills Godwin High School. Chris Harris, if you're watching.
Should I lay some facts down right now?
Well, we can. But, I mean, Justice Williams,
he deserves. He worked hard.
Got injured at Fargo last year.
Yeah.
I don't know if that put a damper on, his season, but,
I
felt like here there could have been a couple more phone calls made. I felt, I'll be honest, I felt our New Kent kid got the shaft. But
higher placer, we beat a state runner-up, and we beat we also beat a state placer from last year. 2 state runner-ups to get to the third and fourth match. We placed higher, and probably the toughest, one of the deepest weight classes in AAA. Yeah. So,
well, it's all good. Like I said, it's. It's good for that kid. Justin's a young kid. And, I hope he gets healthy and he keeps working. And, we'll see, man. But it's also good for our boy Chris Harris, man.
But also, quote Chris Harris, it's second team. That's what he said.
Second team All Metro.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about heavy. It goes without saying.
Beast.
Anthony Helm from Matoaka, state champion.
Kurt Jones, we're talking All Metro. You're catching it at the end.
And Helm, incredible. For heavyweight, he moves very well.
Very athletic.
Technique is solid. He's just an all around good kid.
Wrestled a long time.
Yeah.
He came through that youth league. There.
Smart kid. And a nice kid. One of the nicest kids you'll ever meet.
Nice family.
And
Kurt Jones up there, man.
Kurt Jones from.
Kurt, we gave you a shout out last week, but you might not get one this week.
We're talking All Metro, Kurt.
What you talking about? What you got?
He was wondering what we were talking about.
Oh, we're near the end of all metro stuff.
Yeah, and Mosteller, I do have to be PC about stuff like that. Sorry, dude. Let's see. And, second team at heavyweight was another St. Chris kid, Tyler Anthony. Just watching this kid grow from, kid.
He's improved. He really.
Yeah, he really improved, and this year he actually, worked. He believed in himself. I mean, that's the best way to put it. Is he had confidence in himself, and I'll give him props for that. I mean, he wrestled a great state tournament. Preps didn't end the way that he wanted to, but hey, he's a two-time state champion, and proud of the kid.
Where's him and Saunders going to go to school, man? They're going to try to wrestle because they both got a lot.
I think Saunders was thinking about. He was waiting to hear from the Naval Academy. Tyler, not sure yet. So with
his family there.
Oh yeah,
with his uncle.
Oh, absolutely. I'll find out more when I see the guys next week at practice. And I've been out for spring break.
Leave all the dirty work to Ross.
Yeah, Ross, you can work with those guys, Ross. Get them, Ross. So let's move on to we've been going almost an hour, guys.
Yeah.
We'll catch up.
Should we save the best camps for next week? Use it as a teaser because we're going right in, and then we'll just talk about. Should we? On air, we're.
On air we're debating because, yes, it's unscripted, but we kind of have an outline.
We're trying. This is the
outline.
Official script.
See, there is an outline.
I added in the NCAA stuff.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
We can wait on that. That's
we'll wait on that. I mean, we got time.
One thing is in the hopper. I like to say in the hopper.
In the hopper, we're talking about summer camps. Whether what
we're tabling summer camps.
Would be good for team and all that stuff. But we'll get in that.
Tabling it.
So guests. We want to bring on people, man.
Yeah.
We have to be able to
and we got to bring on people that are going to watch the match.
We have to fit them into the camera. That's what we got to fit.
Well, we can move the camera back.
Really?
We can move the camera back.
Less of me is more. I was going to say that.
I thought moving you to the front was kind of you talk a lot.
Yeah, this is true.
But it's all good.
Yeah, I felt
the people out there wanted to hear you, buddy.
Yeah, the people wanted to
hear you.
So we're looking for some guests.
Couple suggestions if you're listening. Ed Metzger, we want you on board.
Oh yeah, Ed Metzger.
Talk about a little bit about the medical stuff.
We're just gonna put pictures of you when you were younger and you talking at the same time. That you post on Facebook.
Ed Metzger, Swink, Steinbacher.
No.
Just to have you come on board.
Steinbacher, just so you can complain about
the camera and stuff.
Hey, I'm on Jersey. I'm in Jersey. Oh,
thank you, Mr. Trent, for yet another day.
Kurt, Kurt, you're the man. Ross, that'd be awesome to get you on board and talk about Jersey wrestling.
He might blast double me right there.
Yeah.
John Jordan, that'd be awesome.
We're also looking at maybe venues.
Yeah,
Thanks
for having me on your show, fellas. Hey, it's all about leadership. Good job, fellas.
Awesome.
You're doing a great job. It's great for the
I'm just throwing it out there. My brother told me I want to start wearing some free stuff, man.
Okay.
Like if you want me,
I'm a medium
to wear your
or
team
large
shirt on this, I'll wear it. I'm wearing a Manchester shirt tonight. I'm gonna wear a Colonial Ice one eventually.
Whatever's free.
I'm a New Kent coach.
Yeah, I'll wear anything if it's free.
If you want to give me something free, I'll wear it.
You want a shout out? Send us some gear, man.
Yeah, we accept free things.
Hey, and I'll be at Wilder Middle School in Richmond tomorrow doing a clinic at 9. So yeah, you can.
We will not be there.
They will not be there.
I
will
be in absentia.
I'll be thinking about you previously.
Yeah.
Let's give a shout out to Kurt Jones, though. Again,
Kurt Jones watching.
Tune in.
Yep.
Danny Trent, tune in.
Google Hangouts. Thanks,
tune in.
Everybody.
Yeah. And we got, my buddies Scott Willoughby and Jamie Mosteller tuning in from Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow. The great
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
People want to hear us talk.
I think so.
State College?
No. Jamie Mosteller coaches at a private school down near Philly, but he grew up in Williamsport. He and I actually wrestled. He is at Westtown.
Oh, okay.
And Willoughby is at Redland. I think I got it right this time.
Yeah,
York County representative.
Yeah. But definitely guys that I grew up wrestling with. Yeah, Mosteller and I wrestled when we were freshmen in high school at 98 pounds, and I had to cut weight when we got to Williamsport to make weight. Sorry, Jamie, but he's like 8 feet taller than me. Yeah, he was on Tommy Best's team. Yeah. He got taller, and I did not.
Yeah,
but he's doing a good job at West Town. So
if you want to be a guest on the show, we'll probably go one more episode just us while we're still working out some kinks.
Kurt Jones, sorry.
Some people.
Episode 1 cannot be posted.
Yeah, I did not record it. Yeah, it was a live one and done.
Kurt, don't judge us because of our technology.
Lest ye be judged.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Come on, we're sitting in the living room of my apartment with a
little hot. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It is nice.
Thank you.
It is nice.
Yeah, it's I got lucky with this apartment.
And the venues, I think that's going to be fun. We can change venues.
I'm always saying Vawas Freestyle Greco Steaks.
I think we'll have to do a live broadcast from Vawa State.
Yes. We got tons of guests.
And that way we can can bring in some people and talk about it. So we've been kind of doing some shout outs. We shouted out all the people watching it. Yeah, I saw that. Well, it is Easter weekend and happy Passover.
Yes.
Did you want to shout out to Steinbacher?
Steiny, you're the man. Last week, dude, left you off the list that I felt like you should have been on.
Did he call you?
No, I called him.
Why didn't you give me a shout out? I
give a shout out to Chris Steinbacher, man. He's been coaching.
Getting married.
Getting married. I'm best man. It's going to be awesome.
Oh,
that's a title. Even if you don't have the title, you are the best man.
Steinbacher.
You just show up. Except if number 1 is there. Yeah, you're lucky she didn't walk up there look at you like, hey, I'm making a mistake here. What's going on? I got the best man here.
But so he's getting married, man. He's been coaching club wrestling in Richmond in this area for a long time. He's been putting in the work and helping kids get better. No matter what level they are. So let's give a shout out to him, man. He's a good friend of ours too. So
I have one shout out. And that is to Mr. Bob Haldeman, a member of the Chickies Church of the Brethren up in Pennsylvania. 92, still singing in the men's choir.
Wow.
I asked him, what's the key? And moving around, what's the key to staying young? He said 2 things. He said, don't act your age and stay active. And he told me, and then showed me in the middle of the church with a suit on, that he can still put his palms on the floor without bending his knees.
That's awesome.
Pretty impressive. 92.
Nice.
92. Longevity.
Jones just said, "Goody, Faust, check your phones. I sent you a pic. Can you get?
We have a strict. Can you?
I can get pictures on the flip phone.
Look, he's got a flip phone from like 1998.
Can't get football.
Oh yeah. Kurt Jones streaming it on TV.
Doing it well.
With the baby.
Nice.
With the baby watching. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. This kid needs to hear this stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, one last shout out.
Awesome, Jonesy.
To my boys, Aaron Pavlechko and Travis Barr. Thanks for having me in to work out with you guys on Tuesday up at State College High School. It was great walking back into the old practice room and reliving some old memories. There is a picture of me and Pavi up on Facebook. Yes, Faust is Mannheim Central guy, Scott.
Don't get him started, Scott.
Yeah.
So you get in the room. I can't get into the Mannheim Holiday Tournament.
Oh, that's a great story.
But that's a story for another time.
That's a story for another day. Foss can't even get into his alma mater's wrestling tournament where our boys can scrap. Doesn't even get in.
Thank God for the Buckskin Classic.
You're going to Conestoga Valley.
Helping us out. Yeah. Mannheim Central, I guess they didn't like Foss very much. They don't know.
I mean, what's the like? Look at me. Look at what I got going on here.
Yeah, Pav is a beast, Willoughby. He's still in really good shape. Still cross-eyed like I am. That's why the picture on
picture is pretty good.
Yeah, the picture on Facebook of us, I had to take my glasses off because we don't know where we're looking. And
graduated in 91.
Willoughby, don't do it, man. He'll sing the fight song and stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's about it for Talkin' Wrestling episode 3. Oh, we only
hold on. One last shout out.
I was gonna say Matt
ChooseTop.com. People.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good camps going on. Yeah, Keel.
I hope they're having fun at the Mud Bog out at New Kent.
Oh yeah, mud bogging it up in New Kent.
Bog it away.
Not wrestling, mud bogging.
Yeah.
So Well, hey, all 10 of you that have been watching, thanks
Appreciate
very much. Yeah, we do appreciate
Keep the
it.
cards and letters coming. folks.
And let's get John Gordon.
Gotta have a John Gordon shout out. Fellas, hey, excellent job. You're showing a lot of leadership. It's what it's all about, program development, fellas. Starts with things like this, getting your message out there, fellas. Good job. Let's get one more.
I love it. I love it.
John Gordonism of the week. Yeah, hey, send me a message on Facebook if you have any questions, concerns, and I might address them.
Type in your guest on Facebook too.
Yeah.
Let us know who you
If
want.
we could get less concerns from Mr. Trent, that'd be awesome.
There you go. So, thanks for coming in, guys, and we will see you later. It's been Talkin Wrestling.
Man.
And...
Right.